Today's sharing of Harmonize to Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I work here at the international headquarters of Jin Shin Jyutsu in Scottsdale, Arizona. Jin Shin Jyutsu is an art of harmonizing life energy in the body by placing hands on different safety energy locks on the body to allow blockages to melt and transform into more congruent, positive, harmonizing energy. So those of you that have been following along with this particular regular webinar, we've been studying the safety energy locks, which are all described in Self-Help Book 2, which can be purchased at our store. Mary Burmeister's understanding of the energy locks. And safety energy lock 21 is just under the cheekbones here. We'll have a quick look at the slides here. So here we have it, safety energy lock 21, just under the cheekbones, as you can see. And Mary describes it as coming into the universe, meaning profound security and escape from mental bondage. Now, as many of you know, I often quote from one of the references she used, Paul Foster Casey's book on the Tarot. Now, in this, Paul Foster Case is really saying that 21 represents that movement into an expanded awareness or cosmic consciousness. When we're stuck in our mind, we can get limited in our actions. Our thoughts can be colored by suggestions that we give of limitation. When we release the 21s, we allow energy to flow down the front of the body and actually going into the heart, the source of all wisdom. And in my understanding, this is where we rest in that cosmic awareness, that all-embracing. If you put your arms out in relation to the direction of where the heart is, you have the cross, the vertical and the horizontal. Once you've met the vertical with the horizontal, you've completed an oval. And it is within that space that the transition can be made to expanded awareness. And that is really what we're seeking when we're releasing Safety Energy Lock 21. Ultimately, that. However, Mary will go on and in a very everyday sense will tell you that it helps equilibrium, balance, dizziness, mental tension, stress, energy buildup, and weight balance. Well, yes, of course. If your mind is filled with thoughts of excess, need, and your desires are to take more rather than release more, you may have to balance your weight. And the 21s, by letting the extra weight of your thinking, which may be confused or foggy, balance and harmonize, what you then decide to let into your mouth or to let out of your mouth becomes more harmonized. And Mary shows us you can harmonize the 21s in 4 different ways. Here she's showing the high ones. Well, actually, those of you that have studied Jin Shin Jyutsu will know that the 1s and the 21s are equal representations of weight lines. So why the high ones? I don't know. I would assume it's because some of the digestive flows go through there, spleen, kidney, and liver. So that could be why she... the description there and the diagram is pointing to the high ones. Next, she shows us how to harmonize the 21 using the fingers via the supervisor and finger relationship. It's the thumbs. Ta-da. And then finally, she uses a balance of holding the high 19, or actually it's the safety energy lock 19. It's just the diagram that's misleading, with the opposite thigh. So you can do this. You can hold the 19 with the tendons in the elbow joint. So it's the left. You hold it with the opposite high 1 or 1, whichever feels comfortable, or vice versa. So today we've got these 4 different ways of resolving blockages, mental bondage, by clarifying, unfolding, resolving, in Safety Energy Lock 21. Here it is. And we're going to do what I normally do with these practices, structure them within the framework of the 36 breaths, which Mary taught. 3 and 6 equals 9. 9 represents in numerology at least the end of a cycle, beginning of a new. That's where we want to go. We want to move through. We want to get to the next frequency, the next level of energy, so that we can transform. When we stay too stuck in our mind, we don't allow energy to go from heaven to earth. Now, to facilitate energy to move from our head to our feet or from heaven to earth, we exhale down the front consciously, and then we naturally inhale up the back. The landmarks for exhaling inhale are the safety energy lock 4 at the back, the occipital, the 15 in the hip line, and the big toe, the 7. And then the energy on the inhale goes up from 7, 15, or the whole pelvic girdle, actually the whole pelvic bowl, 25 on the sit bone, all the way back up to 4. So you've got this elliptical oval with spiraling light energy moving down from the head, down through the hip line to the toes, and that equals the exhale, and then it goes, reverses, transforms, and goes up, and that's a complete breath. 1 exhale, inhale. So without further ado, I'm going to begin the process, and this time I think we'll start with actually holding 21. I want you to, those of you that are unfamiliar, just place your fingers or the thumb, if that feels more comfortable, or just one finger, whatever you have. If you don't have a hand, don't worry. Just have the intention that you're connecting to the energy that exists or spirals down and through underneath the cheekbone here. All right. We're going to hold both at once. We're going to keep our back as straight as possible, drop our shoulders, bow our head slightly if we can. Be the smile if you want. This may make you look a little weird, but it doesn't matter. You know, the smile is an inner smile as much as an outer smile. And then we're going to let go of all the dirt, dust, and greasy grime by exhaling, dropping the shoulders down the front, and inhaling purified cosmic energy up the back. There's no specific way of exhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose. Do whatever is comfortable for you. And what we're waiting for is to notice or to hear a pulse in these particular positions, these safety energy locks. And the pulse is what you would hear if you hold the radial artery on your wrist. It's a bumpity bumpity bump or whatever is what we're waiting to hear. That tells us that the blood is indeed in time with the energy. The blood follows the energy, and that's what we're hearing. Here we go. We're going to exhale, drop the shoulders all the way down the front. The energy spirals down to the big toe and then turns around, transits around and goes up from the big toe to the pelvic bowl, back up to the 4s at the back of the head, the occiput. That was 1 exhale, inhale. 8 more. Here we go. And you'll go at your own pace. This is not a race. No competing, no comparing, just relaxing, letting go in order to build something new, and then purifying what we've built in order to rebuild something even more. And when I say even more, each time we purify, we can expand our consciousness. And so what we create will take into account that new awareness. So the rebuilding is ultimately an expansion or a result of expansion of awareness. And usually it's better than what we had before. So whenever we're in situations where we're overthinking and we're not allowing our heart's wisdom to connect to our mind, the mind likes to process information. The heart likes to relay the message. It's the message that's important, the quality of the message. Is it positive or is it totally negative? Let's find the balance. Let's find the harmony. And just drop all that dirt, dust, and greasy grime, the baggage. The Bilbo baggage that we don't need. And like Bilbo, we go on the journey to Mount Doom until we cast the ring, until the ring is fired, melted, and transformed. It's an alchemy that happens. The mind surrenders to the soul, and the fire of the soul takes over. I'm sure Tolkien knew this. He just built his story around symbols that people could relate to. The ring of consciousness either binds us or releases us, gives us freedom. The circle of life. Okay, and as we come to the 9th exhale, inhale, we're going to slip into neutral and become the observer. And at this point, you can either carry on holding 21s or just place your hands in your lap at the 15 area, pubic area, and just become the observer of where you are. Who you be at this particular moment in time. It doesn't matter what you were a second ago or what you will be in the future. Where are you right now? Stay with it. You may observe things, feel things. It's all okay. It's all good. It's all a process. It's all a journey. So then we look at the second process that was on the slides, and this was holding the the ones or the high ones. And in the diagram, Mary crossed her hands. When we cross our hands, we're working with mediation. We're getting more, if you pardon the expression, more bang for our buck, because we're allowing the crisscross of the mediator flow, which is the balancing flow in Jin Shin Jyutsu, to bring left and right together simultaneously. Let's do that. Exhale, drop shoulders, holding hands on knees or thighs, allowing the energy to go down the front, all the way through the hips to the toes and back up. Toes, hips, head. That's one. We got 8 more. Here we go. And notice, maybe the energy is beginning to show signs of moving from your head through your hips, through your toes. We're holding the ones, the prime mover. That could facilitate that even more. So, Mary gives us alternatives because she knows that the energy may be too stuck in the physical 21. So let's go beneath the waistline, go to the ones, and move it along that way. As above, so below as above. Create an escape route. Never have too many fixed ideas about how things should be, could be. They will be what they will be once we have the wisdom to understand how the energy circulates. And then once we have that wisdom, we apply the tools that we have, and then we surrender to what is. The mind is a processor, nothing more. So allow those thoughts to percolate to the heart, out of the head into the heart. Allow the wisdom of the heart to guide the energy down, 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 to the earth and beyond the big toe, actually, to the crystalline level of Mother Earth. As above, so below. Feel the support of the Mother, grounding us, giving us connection to all things, all sentient things, and beyond, in terra firma. Profound security comes when there is a balance between head and heart, heaven and earth, front and back, left and right. No fear, no false evidence, illusions. Just simply allowing ourselves to let go and grow. The unified field has all the intelligence we need. We just need to swim in it and allow it to percolate through us. All right, when you've done 9 exhalation inhalations, just slip into neutral and be the observer, the witness. It's in this 9th energy field, if you like. The 9th depth is represented in Jin Shin Jyutsu as space, is where we allow transformation. So giving ourselves another space allows time for transformation. You don't have to be on something. You need to be just simply in it. You hear people often say, I'm on it. Are you? I'd get off it if I were you and just be in it. On sounds efforting to me. Inward and upward. Inward, downward, and upward. All right, now let's do the 3rd practice that Mary offers, left or right thumb. I always say check out the digits, the separations from the, when you look at your thumb, you've got 3 segments there, bust line, waistline, hip line. Check out left and right, which one appears to be a little tighter than the other, and hold that one. Then sit up as straight as you can, exhale, drop your shoulders. Smile if you want to. And let go in order to grow. Exhale. And then as we reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, again slip into neutral zone. Just simply be aware. How much more space have you given yourself? The space between your thoughts, the words, and your deeds, is it elastic or is it tight? Loosen it, the mental bondage. Find the profound security that is within. You will only find temporary security outside of yourself, capital S. You will find profound security always once you develop a strong connection to your soul. Joint left or right. See which one is a little tighter. And opposite, high one or one. So again, one is the inside of the knee, opposite to that 19. So I'm on my left 19 and I'm on my right one, or high one, or vice versa. And we'll do 9 exhalation inhalations on that. We'll do both. Here we go. Exhale. Just allow that energy to percolate down, 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 down. Letting go in order to grow. Then receiving to purify what you've built in order to have an expanded concept of the whole process of consciousness growth. The more we expand and grow, the more our imagination can show us all kinds of things. Imagine that. Paul Foster Case says really that 21 is a doorway to cosmic consciousness, universal expanded awareness. When you know yourself to be at one with everything. For most people, it's a feeling, but it can be a seeing. You can definitely see the unified field clairvoyantly. But that's safety energy lock 20. And actually 21 will pull down 20 and help that energy to expand too, if you're into seeing stars and other kinds of magical images. People concern themselves with justice. Well, true justice, in my understanding, comes when there is that harmonious balance between head and heart. And the 21s being released will help that happen. And then everything just is. There isn't the mind interfering with this is right, this is wrong. It just is what it is. It doesn't mean to say that there isn't fairness and balance, of course. But it's an inbuilt, cosmic, intuitive understanding of the laws of nature that allows true justice. It's already in balance. We just ignored it for a while. It's getting back in. And I can assure you, once you tune in at that level, more permanently, more regularly, the things that you thought had a fair old dollop of injustice will seem different, more balanced somehow. Interesting. Harmony of the spheres. So when you come to the final exhalation, inhalation there, holding that fourth practice, give yourself a hug anyway. Congratulate your inner sense of what is harmonizing for you. and holding the 22s here and the edge of the shoulder blade, small intestine, or 26 all complete. This allows us to rest in that at one-ment, that wholeness, all complete, that dimension of consolidation. And if this is a little tricky, just take the one of the hands away and place it on that one or high one. And then just settle into that state. You're not the same person you wore, that's interesting. 36 breaths ago, you have now moved to a different expanded state of consciousness. So at this point, I'd like to show you, give you a little glimpse of what might be happening in the Jin Shin Jyutsu world. And we'll have a quick look at that. What's coming up? Here we are on page 1 of Jin Shin Jyutsu Inc.net. Welcome to Jin Shin. And all the different things that we create, Zoom study groups, self-help meditations, online webinars, all of them can be registered here underneath online events or on the ads. Coming tomorrow, I'm delighted to host, along with Beth Lendrum, Jill Pasquinelli on a very topical subject, the magical properties of sleep. People for years have had different views about the value of sleep. There's always been this view of, do away with sleep. We've got to use every hour that God gave to create and complete. That's truly shown itself to be out of balance. The body, the nervous system needs rest. And sleep has magical properties. We talk about the dream states, different states of awareness that one can reach, the astral planes when one sleeps. So Jill's going to look at why sleep is important, how it enhances memory, eases stress, calms emotions, pumps your muscles, etc., etc. You can register today or before it starts, which is 2 o'clock New York time for $35. So that's tomorrow. And then coming up, we also have the introduction to core principles of Jin Shin Jyutsu, January 23rd to February the 6th. This is with the Eoli Levenstein. This is like a bridge between self-help and the 5-day basic classes, helpful for someone that has enjoyed the self-help but really wants to understand a few more practical aspects, theoretical aspects of Jin Shin Jyutsu before diving deep in the somewhat intense experience of becoming part of a 5-day basic seminar on the way to become a practitioner. And you can contact the class organizer here. You can register today here. And the times are 12 o'clock New York time to 3:30 each day, 3 hours with a half-an-hour break. Then coming up, January 29th and 30th, an online special topic class with Mona from Germany on the elusive pulse. Now, for those of you that have studied Jin Shin Jyutsu for a while, most of you will realize that studying the pulse is a lifetime's journey. Well, it's always interesting to see how each instructor, each student has negotiated their particular journey with the pulses, and Mona will give you the depth of her experience as we connect to our silence and then to be present with the pulse. And she will talk to you about the relationships of the pulses to text 1 and the integration with text 2, page 4. And that is Friday, January the 29th and Saturday, January the 30th, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and 12 to 2 New York time. Register today, $175. If you've ever missed any of our classes, it's possible to take replays. Click on one of these and sign up. And today's Harmonize to Energize will be up within 2 to 24 hours. And you can always see the replays on our YouTube site, which is up there, youtube.com, Jin Shin Jyutsu official. Purchase the self-help books. Click on this link on the ebook versions. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope that's been helpful, edifying for you. Hopefully some of you will join me, myself and I, and Jill Pasquinelli and Beth Landrum tomorrow morning. Well, New York time, it's 2 o'clock. For us, it's kind of midday here in Arizona. Wherever you are in the world, for the magical properties of sleep and or any of the other webinars that are practiced. Take care, be safe, be wise. We're still dealing with interesting or non-interesting energies that are percolating around us in forms of pandemics and otherwise. So keep your immune system strong, do your self-help, and be well. Au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, cheerio, see you next week.